Howdy folks! Today we are going to be covering the prize pack for Star Trek Attack Wing OP event month 1 for the Resistance is Futile organized play event. I am super stoked about this prize ship in this pack. I think it's a game changer, but let's just get right down to it and cue the intro. Alright, I'm going to start with the participation prize because I'm not sure how I feel about this participation prize. I feel like it's a little thin, to be perfectly honest. It is the improved shields, which basically allow you to have 4 shields. At the beginning of every round, you put them on a bunch of ships. You can allocate them. If those ships take damage, you take those improved shields off first. And it's kind of nice. Like, I think about it on the tabletop, and I think I could really use them for those bait ships. If I know I'm going to need to kind of sacrifice something for a turn, I know where to put those tokens, but at the same time, I think, first of all, 10 points. Second of all, 10 points competing with, like, admirals or, like crew, bridge officers, or even flagships. Like, it's just, I don't think it's something I would take necessarily in a competition event, and there are people driving outside my window. I'm sorry about that. But I do think that maybe in 200 points, even 250 points, those bigger games, I don't think that they have the oomph you really want out of a 10-point kind of upgrade. So I think that there isn't really a place for them. There might be a place for them, I don't know, I think that this kind of card might have some interesting uses if you're playing some of the ship scenarios for fun, and I like the idea of playing those more and more. I'm going to be doing some Let's Plays with those ship scenarios because I feel like they don't get enough love, and there's some super well thought out fun ones in there. So that's coming up, but yeah, this participation prize, not so hot on. Let's talk about the ship though, and the ship is unbelievable. If you haven't seen pictures, it is the Romulan ship with a bit of Borgie patch all on the top of it. The Diderix class, of course. I think the Diderix class actually has the most number of permutations of its ship out there right now. And I'm including the Assimilation Target Prime because that had 2 in its box, and this one also has 2. It has a Romulan version of itself and a Borg Romulan kind of split version, dual faction of itself in this pack. So this pack would technically make it, I think, this might be the 3rd or the 4th iteration of this ship, which is more than any other ships out there right now. So there you have it, Romulan players. At least you get like the best ship out of them. I'm sure you would all love more of Aldor's, but sorry about that. I think that this ship is a huge game changer though. Like, when I look at like the regular stats, first of all, the Romulan version with the named ability, oh my god, 30 points, and that named version kind of sucks. I really don't like it at all. I think it's just garbage, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a fan of it. So that's what I think. That this is not, you don't take this ship because you want this particular named version. You take the ship because you want the Borg version. The Borg version is incredible. It has upgrade slots to the Yahoo, like so many upgrade slots in this pack. Holy smokes. Also, there's slightly different stats on the Borg version. Basically, you get more attacks, which is a big yay. And you also get a free action when you cloak. And I think that's amazing. I honestly think that, like, my Romulan flowchart for actions is and will always be, hey, first of all, are you cloaked? No? Cloak. Second, if you are cloaked, do something else useful. Like, you have to be cloaked. Always, always, always. And it's not about rolling defense dice, it's actually about movement, and the sensor echo is such a huge deal. With this ship, it's even more important to be cloaked. Not necessarily to stay cloaked, but to be cloaked. And yeah, I think that's a bit of a game changer. It also has like the Borg slot on there, and holy smokes, that's pretty incredible. Now, of course, this pack has a drone card, the generic captain version, I guess. There isn't a generic, like, Romulan version in my deck, which I don't know if that's a mispack or not, but if that's intentional, then that says something about this pack. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But there is a named captain, and she is pretty awesome. I love the fact that she's cheap, like 3 points for a captain skill of 5. I love that she has an elite talent, and her ability is, yeah, it's pretty good. I like, I think it's really great. And when you pair that with the elite talent in this pack, which I think is, holy smokes, it's a pretty huge elite talent for Romulans. I really, really like this pack. And I think this elite talent is tremendous because it, first of all, it says, hey, yeah, you know, go on, mix them factions. Take that Borg upgrade, which, oh my gosh, just thinking about a Borg upgrade on a Romulan ship that can cloak is, but I think that's interesting. I think it's very, very interesting. I like the limitation on it. I wouldn't put this particular elite talent and this particular captain on like this ship that's in the pack, the Romulan ship that's in the pack. I could see putting some really interesting things on, say, something with a Denatra. I'm pretty sure she has an elite talent, on like a really hard to kill ship and just, you know, toughen it up to the 9s with that, and really doing some serious damage with that bubble effect. But I think that like putting on some really extra hard stuff to kill, because the resiliency of the Borg's upgrades are really good. Tying that in with the Romulan stuff can be pretty devastating. So I'm very interested to see what people do with this particular elite talent. Now, there is a crewman. I really like his ability. I think that, I don't know, I think that you can, like, having to make tough choices as a general is kind of one of the reasons why I love playing this game. I think that being able to make tough decisions, whether that's in the kind of fleet building phase or whether that's on the table, makes this whole thing much more interesting, much more dramatic, and having choices on abilities adds that dramatic element. So I'm really, really excited to see what people end up choosing. The thought of this upgrade floating around up there creeps me out a little bit. Honestly, it creeps me out a little bit. I think that there are some really, again, it's that idea of tough choices on the table. You can deck build this game to the high heavens and be an incredible army builder. I've met some great guys who win the game in the faction selection phase of the game and just have their whole fleet fall apart on the table because they're making the wrong decision and they're not as canny as the guy standing up opposite of him. And I love the fact that this is one of those cards that really rewards you for making the right decision in the right moment. Do you disable that? Do you disable that? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Make the tough choice. And man, I think that this is also a really interesting reflection on the Borg. I know a lot of people have been complaining how OP the Borg are, and I get that they're very powerful, but one of the things that Borg do not do very well at all is have true action economy. The Borg are particularly limited. And I love the design of that fleet because it's totally a reflection from the show, but their action economy is not nearly comparable to that of the Federation, which you would expect. And I think that's totally and fantastically fluffy, and I like how it's reflected. And this disabling of stuff to prioritize other things, that kind of ability on this card, that is so completely and utterly Borg, even though it's 1 point upgrade. So I look at this pack too. It's also obviously got some like plasma torpedoes. Big whoop. I'm not a huge fan of that. You know, it's just standard fare. I get that they have to stick a weapon in this ship. Okay, plasma torpedoes, here you go. But I think what's interesting to me is how they've really kind of encapsulated the idea of the Borg fleet and what they are in the show as well as in the game. They kind of capture that particular element and reflecting that in the game mechanics. I really like that. And I really like the elite talent of Borg Alliance is so Romulan. You know, it's one of those very fluffy things where it's like, yeah, if the Romulans could get in bed with the Borg just for a little while, it's a temporary alliance, you know, because you can't trust the Romulans. But they'll totally make that alliance for short-term gain, for the moment, until they can figure out what they're going to do next. Like, I think that that is totally Romulan. That's what they would do. And I think that those two cards are both very useful, very interesting, very game-changing in terms of what they can do for a Romulan fleet, because this particular pack, having as many ship cards as it has, you can make essentially 2 ships out of this pack. I like it. I like it for that. I like it for all this stuff. And yeah, that's what I think about it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, yeah, Dungeons & Dragons Attack Wing. I'm going to do unboxing really, really soon. So wait for that. I'm also going to be revealing the blind boosters very soon, so keep tuned to that. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see those when they go up. Hit the like button to like this video, and check out my other videos, all featured in my channel. I'll throw the links down around here. Until next time, I'll see you soon.